Well, we got a terrible show tonight. Name my topic tonight is called. It's called Lackluster, Lazy, and Lousy in Las Vegas. That's my topic tonight. Before I do, I'm gonna open up the show with a little bit of music. I'm gonna open the show with with see no, let's see. I'm gonna open up. See, I'm trying to see. I'm gonna open up the show with Let's see. I'm trying to see. This song called Macarena by Los Dios Rios. Macarena. I know all you remember that song. Hey Macarena. Yeah, Macarena. Los Del Rio, that's it. Los Del Rio. So stick around, right back. Yeah, playing right back.
Almost time. Super Bowl.
Remember this song? Macarena.
Yeah. Hey, Macarena. Yeah.
I was like that song when I was little.
You did?
Sleep good. Yeah, the Macarena by Los Del Rio. My favorite song when I was little. Slick down with this with tonight's terrible show. We kick off comments with comments from the main players for tonight's show, including Marlon, Jackass Freeman, Brody King, Kenny Omega, Don Callis on behalf of his family, the Babes of Wrath, and the team of Mega Bad. With that, we head to ringside for our opening match. The Death Riders make their way out through the crowd first. The crowd cheering for them as they hurry toward the ring. Next are the Don Callis family, led by Keno Suzuki Takashita. The trio heads to the ring as the Riders stare them down before we get this match underway. The Death Riders versus Don Callis family. We start off with Garcia and Alexander as they exchange holds, with Garcia going to work on Josh on the mat. They get to their feet as Daniel is sent to the ropes, but he fights back with some strikes of his own to take Alexander off his game. Josh backs away to his corner as El Clan tags in, and Pat gets the tag for the Riders. Pat takes Clan to the mat with a side headlock before wringing his arm when they return to their feet. The luchador uses his agility to counter out, but takes a head scissor back Pac before landing on one of his own on Pac, who manages to land on his feet. The two circle the mat before Pac tags in Mox, and Clown responds in kind with a tag to Takashita. They stare at each other down before Takashita lays in some forearm shots. Mox fires back as they go face to face before chaos erupts, all six men going at it in the ring. Riders clear the ring before Garcia gets a tag, only to tag Pac as they triple team Takashita. Yeah, lands on. Where was I? Trying to see where was I? I got back. Trying where I was. Mox continues to beat down before attacking Garcia, and they're getting away on the Alpha in the corner before Klein comes in and stop things. Gets the tag as Pac tags in as well. And pair go until Pac drops Klein with a German release suplex. Pac runs to the ropes for a lariat but gets tripped up by Alexander, and this leads him to Takashima and Takashita laying in some shots on the Pac while Klein distracts the ref as we go to an ad break. Back from break, Alexander sends Pac to the canvas with a belly-to-belly suplex before taking him to the corner. Pac fights us off before landing in some forearm strikes on a walking weapon, who knocks Pac down before going for a knee drop, but Pac dodges it, forcing Alexander to collide with a mat instead. Takashita and Mox get the tags once more and they fire off in exchange of shots until Mox sends the Alpha down with a back suplex, only for Takashita to respond in kind with an exploder. Shotgun drop kick sends Takashita down as hard as Alexander runs to intervene, only to be sent out of the ring by Mox, who catches Klein with a cutter. Tag made to Garcia, who sets the Alpha up for a Dragon Tamer, and Mox lands a curve stomp for extra damage as Dark Garcia goes for a pin, but Josh break it up. But Klein comes running back in and gets sent out before Mox lands a dive onto the pair outside, but back in the ring, Takashita lands a Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. Garcia tries to fight back but takes a wheelbarrow suplex that sends him into the corner. After some involvement from Klein, as we go to see a power and drive knee from Takashita, but it's only good for a 2. Garcia gets the groove back and is all for a knot as Raging Fire gets Takashita to win. Where's Don Callis family? Don Callis family, Alpha, Suzuki Takashita, L. Klein, and walk up and Josh Alexander. The two celebrate the ring as the Death Riders regroup on the outside. We get a look back on Andrade El Diablo beating Swerve Strickland last week on Dynamite. Before heading to ringside, as we hear from the man himself. Prince Nana says their focus is where it's always at the top of all elite wrestling. Losing one match, it doesn't mean they'll lost aside that you're not going anywhere. Asana Swerve swiftly saunters off as the commentary has to the line for tonight. Up next, we see Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy in tag action while addressing what went down at Collision. Commercial break. Video package will look back at Will Ospreay following his recent surgery, looking back at it in his career in AEW and hoping to return where the best wrestle. We head back to ringside as Orange Cassidy makes his entrance. He is quickly followed by the arrival of Timeless Tony Storm as we get ready for our next match with their opponents Jordan Oasis and Brittany Brooks already in the ring. Mixed tag match. Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm versus Jordan Oasis and Brittany Brooks. Oasis offers a free shot to Cassidy, who responds with a light chop before offering a free shot to Jordan. He ends up taking Oasis to the mat in hands with his pockets instead, in pockets, and take it down said. Checking his on his reflection in the ball of Oasis as the crowd cheer. Tag made to Brooks and Storm with Tony pulling Brittany by the hair twice onto the mat, drop her on the mat. Oasis runs in, but Cassidy and Storm take their opponents to the corner for diving a slight dance in the middle of the ring. Storm lands a DDT on Brooks, followed by Cassidy dropping Oasis with a huge one of his own, setting him up for a hip attack by Tony and an orange punch for the win. Winners via pinfall: Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm. After the match, Cassidy grabs the microphone to address the match it made for Grand Slam Australia, the Atlantic possibility of becoming bald. I'm looking at Gunther. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Before promising either to give Rita or you a cute little come over or make Marie Shafir look like Mox. We cut to early tonight seeing Mox and Darby Allin getting blindsided by former War Dogs as Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd kidnap the man. Back at ringside, Hangman Page makes his way out of the ring for our next match. Mark Davis comes out as well as we get this match underway. Hangman Page versus Mark Davis. Davis charges at the former world champion for an early advantage, but Page fires back to take Davis to the mat as the crowd cheer. Davis fights to send back, send Page to the ropes, but Hangman rings lower bridges to send him to the mark outside before landing a dive hat that sends Davis into the announce table. Page rebounds from the apron for malaria before sending Davis back into the ring. The Mark turns things around as he lays into Hangman with some shots in the corner. Page escapes in the ring but is sent into the barricade by Davis as we go to an ad break. Skates back in the ring and hit the barricade as Davis as we go to an ad break. Full ad break on HBO Max. Back from break, Davis is still in control as both men get in the ring as he sends Hangman into the corner. Page fights out, sweeping Mark's legs out from under him from under a 2 count. Davis on the apron as Page hits the ropes, but Davis fights back and stops the sunset powerbomb to drive Hangman to the apron. Davis charges at Hangman on the guardrail, but Page evades him before Davis talking Davis to the floor with a moonsault off the railing. He brings Mark back into the ring for another moonsault, but Davis manages to kick out at 2. He blocks the dead-eye attempt for the Veda powerbomb, but Hangman counters for a near fall. Davis is back up for a lariat and back up suplex for cover, but Page kicks out. Davis has Hangman on the ropes for a lariat, but Hangman fights back only to be dropped by Mark for countering to a deadeye for a 2. Page sets up a Berkshire lariat, only be sent by the ropes, but Davis and he counters and it eventually lands a Tombstone Power Driver, sending Davis onto the ramp. He sends Davis back into the ring for a Berkshire lariat to pick up the win. Winner via pinfall, Hangman and Page. Commentary talks about Page going to Grand Slam Australia facing the number 1 winner of tonight's Omega Andrade match to determine number 1 contender to the AEW World Championship at Revolution. Page gets her microphone to address his bags next week to head to Australia, promising that if he earns his shot, he will take back the title he never lost. He never should have lost. He leaves the ring. We cut to a vignette looking at LA Knight. Up next, we see Kenny Omega take on Andrade El Diablo to see who faces Hangman Page at Grand Slam Australia. We're going to go to commercial break. We head back to ringside as Andrade El Diablo was accompanied by Don Callis on his way out for our next match. Andrade enters the ring before Kenny Omega makes his entrance to get this match underway. Kenny Omega versus Andrade El Diablo. Andrade leaves the ring for some advice from Don Callis before returning, as we hear from what the crowd thinks of Don. Andrade shoves Omega before they trade strikes before back and forth. El Diablo pokes Omega in the eye, but he takes a running knee that sends him out of the ring. Kenny sets Andrade up for a one-wing angel on the floor, but Andrade breaks free. Eventually taking Kenny to the floor with a suplex. He sends Andrade into the barricade and back into the ring, only for Omega to intercept in the corner. Two fight it out on the turnbuckle before Kenny drops Andrade with a suplex, but that's only good for a 2 count. Omega brings El Diablo back to his feet, ringing the arm before dropping Andrade for a moonsault for a near fall. Andrade fights back from the ropes for a crossbody to take Omega to the canvas, only for Kenny to counter with a figure 4 leg lock for a cradle for a 2 count. Andrade fires back with a vertical suplex and a second one for rolling with Kenny out of the ring to go for a third Amigo on the floor. Andrade flirts with some ladies in the front row before getting back in the ring and getting the drop on Omega to send him back to the floor. One of the ladies gets a selfie with him as we go to an ad break. Full ad break and HBO Max. Back in the ring, Andrade is still in control as he sends Omega to the corner, but Kenny dodges him to get back into things. Still, Andrade is able to settle for a figure 4 leg, with Omega struggling to find a way out. He manages to reverse the pressure, forcing Andrade to get to the ropes to force a break. Omega continues to take the fight to El Diablo, sending him to the corner before setting up for an avalanche on a one-wing angel, but Andrade breaks free, dropping Omega to the heart with a DDT. Covered by El Diablo, but Kenny kicks out at 2. Andrade fires himself up for a running meteor on the Omega in the corner, but this only gets him another near fall as he is clearly frustrated by it. Omega struggles to his feet as El Diablo looks for the DM, but Omega fights out as we get an exchange of strikes in the center of the ring. Omega runs to the ropes, but takes a knee on the way back and responds in kind of with a knee strike of his own. Andrade manages to fight back as we see Don sneak a screwdriver to him. He distracts the ref while Andrade looks to use a screwdriver on Omega, but Swerve runs down to pull it out of his hand. The ref sees this and has it out with Strickland, and the distraction allows Kenny El Diablo to turn around on Omega for a low blow for the win. Winner by pinfall, Andrade El Diablo. Andrade leaves the ring to celebrate the win with the Don Callis family, and back in the ring, Swerve and Omega have an argument about what went down. This leads to security rushing down to break things up. Commentary has up the world title eliminator match before throwing to video package highlighting the man looking for a title shot, Brody King. With that, commentary has up the lineup to still to come with our Women's World Women's World Tag Team eliminator match coming up next as the Babes of Wrath face Mega Bad. In commercial break, backstage we hear from Chris Statlander, who tells Lackluster she'll have to wait on finding out the stipulation for the AEW Women's World Championship, offering to reveal the details on Collision. In the meantime, sit down, shut up, and pray that Cosmic Killer is just a nickname. Back at ringside, Mega Bad make their entrance for our next match. The champs have arrived as Babes Wrath head to the ring, and this match is underway. AEW Women's World Tag Team Champion eliminator match: Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Will Nightingale versus Mega Bad, Megan Bang, and Penelope Ford. Mega Bad take on early control, sending Harley to the floor outside before targeting Willow Nightingale. Ford is the legal woman for a team before Willow fights back, tagging Cameron for a double team on Penelope. Tag back to Nightingale gets a 2 count on Ford if she fights back out for a tag to Bang. Megan sends Willow to the corner for some shots, only for Willow to fight back with a cartwheel into an enziguri. She climbs to the turnbuckle but is distracted by Ford, allowing Bang to take the champ to the mat with a hurricanrana. Willow escapes the ring for a breather, only to dive through the ropes by Bang as we go to an ad break. Back from break, Willow fights back in the ring with a pounce before tagging in Cameron. Ford tags in as well, but takes a sling blade before Harley fires on with some shots back in the back suplex for a near fall. Ford takes her down before tagging in Bang. And look for a delayed suplex, only to be dropped by it with a DDT from Cameron. Bang heads to the corner but is intercepted by Harley, who gets an assist from Nightingale for a suplex, sending Megan to the mat. Ford catches the Babes with a douche double backbuster off the turnbuckle. With all 4 men on the mat, the ref checks on them. Megan is up as Willow gets officially tagged. The tag, she takes Bang to the mat with a spinebuster for 2. Cameron gets a tag as chaos ensues. leading to Bad landing a Doomsday device on Harley to pick up the win. The match is official as Mega Bad running back against the champ as the Grand Slam Australia when the title was online. We get a look back at Tommaso Ciampa beating Mike Briscoe for the AEW TNT Champion before heading backstage. We hear from the new champ who promises to carry on with the open challenge to put the title on line at Collision. He states that Sylvie isn't going anywhere for walking off, as we get the confirmation of the defense against the two men on Saturday's defense against Roderick Strong and Claudio Castagnoli. You also get a look at the other matches set for Collision, including the parking lot fight. Back at ringside, Jungle Jack Perry makes his entrance for our next match. Ricochet makes his entrance next, but Perry gets a drop on the champ to get this match underway. AEW National Championship match, Ricochet defends against Jungle Jack Perry. Perry brings Ricochet back into the ring for a near fall before taking the champ to the corner for some punches. He sends Ricochet back into the mat to a 2 count, but the champ sends him to the ropes to turn things around. He hits the ropes before driving a boot to the back of Perry's neck, trying to not to let the ball chance break him before he goes to a big boot choke on the challenger. Perry fights back with some shots, but is sent to the canals by Ricochet. The champ sends Perry into the ropes, but is met with some slosh by the challenger. He takes Ricochet to the outside before sliding through the ropes, where he is caught in a wheelbarrow before Ricochet slams him into the announce table. The champ is fairly in control as we go to an ad break. Yeah, the champ is firmly in control as we go to an ad break. Full ad break on HBO Max. The back from break, Perry blocks a brainbuster attempt on the apron before Ricochet fights him off with a thumb to the eye, only be sent to the floor by Perry, who follows up with a dash drive through the ropes. He brings the champ back into the ring. Ricochet steams up the locomotion suplex chain before bringing Jack Perry to the outside for a death fire drive to the floor. He brings Perry back in the ring for a leaping forearm before taking Perry to the mat for a 2 count. He leaves the ring, grabbing the title from his ringside before heading to the back. Ref stops him and sets out the title aside as Perry fights back with a German suplex, but Perry lands on his feet, counting lariat for one of his own. Perry catches him with a poison round before taking him out with a cutter. But the champ manages to kick out at 2 to save his title. Ricochet dodges a running knee roller for which gets countered by Perry for a near fall of his own. He locks up in his snare trap on Ricochet, who crawls to the ropes before being pulled to the center by a challenger. Snare trap is locked in as GOA make their way out to the ring with us distracting the ref is long enough for Leon to pull Ricochet to the ropes to eventually force to break. Young Bucks make their way out to get rid of GOA the Chaos Ricochet to prop up to the title and to get a turnbuckle for driving into Perry into it. He follows up with a spirit gun to win to retain. Winner via pinfall, still AEW National Champion Ricochet. Ricochet celebrates as we find out that Young Bucks and GOA face off to see number one contender collisions to see who enters through a tag division and Dynamite to determine number one contenders for the tag titles. We cut to a production truck where Gabe and Clark have a little movie to show us, revealing that they're left down out in the desert and not even a horse with no name. Commentary struggles to comprehend what we just saw as we turn our attention to the main event as Brody King faces Warren Jacobs in the world title eliminator match up next. Commercial break. Back from break, we are starting this main event at the right end of our time slot as Brody King makes his entrance first. Out next is Warren Jacobs as we get ring inductions to get this world title elimination match underway. AEW World Championship eliminating match of Warren Jacobs versus Brody King. We get a chant of Brody's support of Brody's views as this match gets started before Heyman and Page's music hits. And the former champ steps out to shout at MJF. Freeman leaves to stare down Page, only to be caught by a sleeper hole on the apron by the King, who drops him to the floor. He brings Warren Jacobs back in the ring, setting up a cannonball senton in the corner before dropping the champ with a Gazzo bomb for the win. Winner via pinfall, Brody King. With that, the match is made official for Grand Slam Australia, as King now gets to challenge Warren Jacobs with the World Championship. Warren Jacobs is still down, so the ref drops the title over him, only for Brody to pick it up, but he doesn't get to stand tall with it, only for long as Andre blindsides him. LDL turns his attention to Warren Jacobs stopping him with a DM Page as runs to the ring for Buckshot later on July Day. On July Day, amigo. Page turns his attention to Warren Jacobs Freeman, now looking for a box shot on the champ, who catches him with a low blow. Page is down as the King gets back to his feet to drop Warren Jacobs Freeman with another Gazzo bomb, and it's Brody standing tall with the title as Dynamite comes to a close. Not good tonight. Not good tonight. All I can say is a few more slackers and untalented want to replace better guys and girls. Then perhaps AEW should start improving overall viewership. Okay. Yep. Now I already know I got it covered. Now I know what it's time for. It's time for wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and all that stuff. Let's go to yesterday, February the 3rd. Okay, yesterday was a happy 41st birthday to Angela Fong, Asian Canadian wrestler Angela Fong. Yeah, Angela Fong, Chinese Canadian wrestling. Yesterday was a happy 66th birthday to Fred Oaks, some married on by his ring name Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels' former tag team partner. And see, and Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk's brother. Dory Funk Jr., he turned 85 yesterday. WWE Hall of Famer Dory Funk Jr. Let's see, try hold on one second, let's see, try to see what else. Okay. See, yesterday, WWF, sorry, I lost control, sorry. See, WCW Pro, on WCW Pros, Damien Striker, who will be later known as Edge, his real name is Adam Copeland, lost to Maine. Lex Luger defeated Chuck Williams. And on on WWF Superstars, the Godwins defeated James Samoto and Ed Moretti. Isaac and DES defeated Avatar. Marty Jannetty defeated Greg Davis. Hakushi defeated Buddy Wayne. And Razor Ramon defeated Jeff Jarrett by DQ. Due to the interference of the 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman is Click Buddy. Let's see what else. Then on WCW Saturday Night, leading up to Super Bowl 6. Public Enemy defeated the Armstrong brothers, Scott and Steve. Sting defeated Danny Brown. The Nasty Boys defeated Barrier Brothers. DDP defeated Joey Maggs. The U.S. champion Wonder-Man Gang defeated Mike Davis. The Giant defeated Todd Morton and Chris Nelson in a handicap match. Harlem Heat defeated 1-2 with a win at work. Eddie Guerrero defeated Lex Luger by DQ. Ric Flair defeated Dean Malenko. Let's see what else. The same day, a pay-per-view took place. I know a friend of mine from Pittsburgh remembers this. ECW Big Apple Blizzard Blast took place at the Lost Battalion Hall in Queens, New York. Commentator Joey Styles was a commentator. The ring announcer was Joel Gardner. The opening bout, Taz defeated the Shark Attack Kid in a squash match using the Taz mission following. By the way, 1,200 were in attendance. Yeah. In the opening bout, Taz defeated the Shark Attack in a squash using the Taz mission. Following the match, Taz challenged 911 to come to the ring. ECW Commissioner Todd Gordon came out and said 911 resulted in a brawl between Gordon and Taz's manager Bill Alfonso. As Taz attacked Gordon, Bam Bam Bigelow made his surprise debut, chasing Taz and Alfonso. This was the second bout was a tag team match between the headliners and Axel Rotten and El Puerto Ricano. The match ended when one of the headhunters pinned El Puerto Ricano with following a moonsault. Sure enough, the crowd was hot when Mick Foley said this. Remember, who was known as Cactus Jack in ECW, who originally left ECW to join the WWE, what was then called the World Wrestling Federation, WWF at the time, when the debut was Mankind. He said, "Sure enough, the crowd was hot when I hit the ring with Mikey to defend the belts. We lost the belt that night, and I turned on poor Mikey. We just had to wrestle his heart out before cementing my new image as a sellout and as a scumbag. As a matter of fact, I was shouted out by chants of you sold out on my way out of the ring." Yeah, because they know he signed a deal with the WWE, which then was called the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. The third bout was ECW World Tag Team Champions Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck defended their titles against the Eliminators. The match was marked by the ascension between Cactus Jack and Whipwreck with Cactus Jack and Whipwreck, with Cactus Jack who had signed with WWE, was then called the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and was facially championing a hardcore wrestling, purely hindering Whipwreck, including blocking him from applying holes. Whipwreck in turn prevented Cactus Jack from using a broken bottle as a weapon. The match ended when Cactus Jack distracted Whipwreck, eliminating the Eliminators to form a total elimination on him to pin him. After the match, Cactus Jack turned on Whipwreck, giving a double arm DDT on the steel chair. Following the match, Francine came to the ring and offered to become the manager of the Eliminators. This turned out to be a ruse, with Francine Klein's the Pitbulls attacking Eliminators, delivering a powerbomb the Kronos and choking Saturn with a chain before Francine cut his hair off. The fourth bout was a tag team match pitting Raven against the then ECW World Heavyweight Champion Stevie Richards against Shane Douglas and Tommy Dreamer in a continuation of a long-running feud between Raven and Dreamer. The match ended when Dreamer's valet, Beulah McGillicuddy, tied a frying pan to his boot and delivered an enziguri to Richards, then pinned him. The fifth bout saw WWA World Welterweight Champion Rey Mysterio Jr., some of you know as Rey Mysterio, defend his title against the debuting Juventud Guerrero, substituting for Psychosis, who had missed the show. Mysterio won a fast-paced Lucha Libre bout by pinfall, versing a sit-out crucifix powerbomb into a Hurricanrana. Following the match, Taz and Phil Alfonso came to the ring, resulting in confrontation. Mysterio ended the day with Taz German suplexing Mysterio. JT then attacked Mysterio until being attacked himself by Hack Myers. Woman, the manager of Two Cold Scorpio and Sandman, came to the ring. Woman, Nancy Benoit, who had signed a contract with rival promotion WCW, had already appeared on WCW Nitro, acknowledged that she was joining WCW and try to convince her announcer Joey Styles and ECW ECW mainstay the Sandman to come to WCW with her. After both men declined, Roman refused to leave the building. Two Cold Scorpio then came to the ring and carried Woman out of the building, dispositioning in a limousine and instructing the chauffeur to take that bitch to Atlanta, referring to the headquarters of WCW. After Woman had left, the Blue Meanie and Steve Richards came to the ring and convinced the Sandman to withdraw with a scheduled match against ECW World Heavyweight Champion Raven in SummerSlam. The Sandman refused and knocked the Blue Meanie unconscious using his Singapore cane, driving out Raven himself. Steve Richards then announced that he was suing Missy Hyatt, who kissed him at Holiday Hell 95 for sexual harassment, an in-joke referring to Hyatt's legitimate lawsuit against her former employer, World Championship Wrestling, for sexual harassment. Who did this? Who did this? Was it Eric Bischoff or something? Raven invited Hyatt to join Raven's Nest, but she refused to and instead agreed to become the Sandman's manager. The sixth bout, which was not included on VHS, was a tag team match between the Headhunters and the Pitbulls. The seventh bout was a singles match between Chris Jericho and RVD. Chris Jericho won the bout using its Lion Salt, using his second match with ECW, and was scheduled to be his first televised match, which is what Jericho described as the Jericho Curse. The match went poorly, with ECW promoter Paul Heyman telling Jericho that the recording of the match was defective and is an excuse for not airing it. In 2018, WWE acquired the footage for the closure of ECW, added the match to WWE Network. Yeah, this was not included on the VHS with a tag team match between Headhunters and Pitbulls, Headhunters Pitbulls with the Pitbulls. Chris Jericho said Paul booked me against RVD and wanted to use the match as our official TV debut. Rob and I had similar styles, similar size, and wanted a similar worldwide experience. He spent some time overseas and made a name for himself in Japan, just as I had, but the match sucked worse than a toothless vampire. We were a step off on everything. There was no sign of chemistry we had that night before. The fans turned on us chanting, "This match sucks, please go home, end this match." Even the dread up, "You fucked up" chant reared its ugly head when I screwed up in a simple arm drag. The eighth bout was a single match between Bubba Ray Dudley and JT Smith. Dudley won the bout under 1 minute, pinning Smith following a powerbomb. The preliminary match was a singles bout between Mr. Hughes and Sabu. Sabu won the match by pinfall following a spinning heel kick using a chair. The main event was a Big Apple Blizzard Blast, was a tag team match between the Gangsters, New Jack and Mustafa Saeed, and Too Cold Scorpio and Sandman. The match ended when Too Cold Scorpio pinned Mustafa using a roll up and spraying hairspray in his eyes. Now 2006 on Heat. Yeah, that was just a recap episode. Here. Now, Friday Night SmackDown heading up to No Way Out. This was the yesterday SmackDown February 3rd, 2006 took place at the War Down Center in Orlando, Florida. And this marked the 20th anniversary of one of the most disgusting comments that Randy Orton had made about Eddie Guerrero, saying that Eddie was in hell. I know a friend of mine from Pittsburgh remembers this, so here it is. I don't know if you remember it.
Right. You are absolutely right. Eddie was laughing his off, but he wasn't laughing with you. He was laughing at you. Now, I know as well as Eddie knows, as well as all these people know, that you're in no position to be in the main event of WrestleMania. You do not belong in this position. I do.
What makes you so special,
Hey,
huh?
shut your mouth, man. Listen to me. There must have been some sort of divine intervention at the Royal Rumble, because there's no way you could have won that on your own. You hear me? No way in hell.
Intervention or not, Randy, I'm the one who tossed your over the top rope.
That's true. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. In this ring, in a wrestling match, I will own you. I would beat you. I would destroy you like that. As a matter of fact, whoa. As a matter of fact, seeing as lightning can't possibly strike twice in the same spot, I challenge you, Ray. I challenge you.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that thinks you suck.
Back to business, Ray. I challenge you for your main event spot at WrestleMania. Whoa! What are you hesitating for, man? Answer me. You are so positively sure of yourself when it comes to defeating me in this ring. What's the hesitation for? Answer me. What do you say, Ray? Answer me, huh? Come on. Put it on the line. Ray, you're looking up towards the heavens like you're looking at Eddie, like you're looking for Eddie. Let me tell you something, bro. Eddie ain't in heaven. Eddie's down there. In hell! What a jerk. This guy's a friggin' jerk. Cross the damn line.
And look at Mysterio with a low roll. Good. And Rey Mysterio beat the hell out of him. He deserves it. Beat his station, Ray. Absolutely no respect for Eddie Guerrero. And Rey Mysterio beat the hell out of deserves a beating. These two men are going to be in a head match later on. I'll tell you, Mysterio defending the name of Eddie Guerrero. Randy Orton is an absolute idiot. Bottom line. How can he say that? Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't know why WWE had to make Orton had to go there that night 20 years ago. That was way out of line. Way out of line right there that night. Randy Orton. Yeah, Eddie in Hell. That's stupid thing. Well, I know why WWE had to go there. And Eminem and Mercury and Nitro nearly defeated Mexicools, Psychosis, Super Crazy. Retained the WWE Tag Team Championship last year and defeated Chad Dick with James Dick. Then we see a juniors division to Suzuki defeating Octagon Cito. Chris Benoit defeated Finlay, placement for Booker T, retained the U.S. title. And Mark Henry and Randy Orton with Daivari defeat Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. And then we see a confrontation between Undertaker and Kurt Angle. And this, Undertaker wants to challenge Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight title at No Way Out, 2006. And then on February 3rd, then on Pop Culture, a couple of movies released in theaters. No friend of mine remember these movies. Something New, starring Sana Lathan and Simon Baker and Blair Underwood. Supporting cast includes Matt Malloy, Donald Faison, Alfred Woodward, Jerry P. Henson. Curious George, featuring voices of Will Ferrell, Drew Barrymore, and Eugene Levy. Based on a children's book. Oh wait, this is February 3rd. Sorry, my mistake. This is February 10th. So I meant to say on the same day, a movie called When a Stranger. No, a friend of mine remembers this movie. When a Stranger Calls, starring Camilla Bell, was released in theaters. Remake of the 1979 movie starring Carol Kane. Was released in 2016. On NXT, the Vaudevillains, Aiden English and Simon Gotch defeated the Hype Brothers. Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder. Carmella defeated Emma with Dana Brooke. Enzo Amore and Colin Costa defeated Jack Hurley and Ricky Starks. Asuka defeated Santina Garrett by submission. Finn Balor defeated Apollo Crews. Now, February 4th, today, on this day, February 4, 2016, we lost Axel Wright, who died of a drug overdose and a heart attack. He died, very tragic passing. Axel Wright. Yeah, his real name was Brian Knight, and he was born on April 27th, 1971. He died on February 1st, 2016, with drug overdose and heart attack. Very tragic passing. He was 71. No, not what I'm saying. He was 45 when he died. He was 44 when he died. '44. Let's see. Chris Sabin. He turns 44 today. Of the Moshi Machine Guns is now in WWE with Alex Shelley, formerly in TNA, Impact Wrestling. What else? Lawrence Taylor, who beat Bam Bam Bigelow, late Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania 11 in 1995. He turns 67 today. Let's see. Oh yeah, and yesterday was a happy 70th birthday to name likes to say Okuda Matata from The Lion King, Broadway actor. His voice of Timon for The Lion King, Nathan Lane. I like him. And on this day, in 1986, hold on a second. In Salt Lake City, Utah, AWA. Scott Hall. This took place at South Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Scott Hall defeated Doug Summers. Leon White defeated Larry Zbyszko by DQ. Jay Blackwell defeated Boris Zukov. Kurt Hennig and Mark Jannetty defeated Nordis Bahrain and Sheik Ednan Kesey. Stan Hansen defeated David Sammartino for the AWA World Heavyweight title. What else? See. Can't really see what else. Con. AWA on ESPN? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think there's no AWA done this day. See what else? You do your thing. I'll do my thing. Okay. Oh yes. Well, one of the pieces of wrestling history. On WWE Primetime Wrestling, special recaps shown from the January 18th, January 18th, 1906 Capitol Center. Special Delivery Jones. Special Delivery Jones pinned Rene Goulet with a headbutt. George Wells defeated Barrio with a flying shoulder block. At the Capitol Center, January 18th, 1986, Andre the Giant defeated Ernie Ladd by countout. It was a recap shown from Madison Square Garden on April 26, 1976. The Macho Man ran Saturday. Miss Elizabeth defeated Scott McGee. Savage had a vertical confrontation with Grill Monsoon, and Monsoon referred to him as the Not So Macho Man. This was January 18th, 1986, at the Capitol Center. Terry Funk pinned Dan Spivey after a sunset flip. It was January 18th, 1986, at the Capitol Center. That was shown by hosted by Grill Monsoon and probably Bobby the Brain Heenan. And now back to February the 4th again. This time, 1996, NBC aired I think this was like a mini-series, Gulliver's Travel, starring Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen. Yeah, this was a mini-series called Gulliver's Travels. Yeah, it was on NBC, a miniseries. Let's see. What else? I can't remember. Let's see what else. 1990. It's a nice place to live. Such a nice. 1996. That's right. Well, WWF. No, wait. Yeah, that's right. WCW Worldwide. Lex Luger defeated Eddie Jackie. Blue Bloods defeated Burt Sawyer and Leroy Howard. Ming, Shark, and Kevin Sullivan and the Giant defeated 4 jobbers. Harlem Heat defeated 2 jobbers. Johnny B. Bad, WCW TV champion Johnny B. Bad defeated Big Bubba Rogers, someone we know as the Big Boss Man. In 2006. Velocity. Let's see what else we try to see. Oh, this is just recaps and everything from what happened on SmackDown. From February the 3rd, 2006. And let's see what else. And 2000 and this day 2006 on Impact. Impact happened up to Against All Odds. Rhino defeated Kenny King. AJ Styles defeated Jay Lethal. And Chris Sabin and Sanjay Dutt defeated Team Canada, P. Williams and A1 Rouse. And LAX defeated Frankie Capone, Red Steel and Blue Steel. And after the match, James King's getting a brawl. James King come out and they get in a brawl at James King's house. And then we see a little press conference of Jeff Jarrett and Christian Cage. And Austin Aries and Roderick Strong defeated Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, with Alex Shelley defeated the Naturals Chase Stevens and Andy Douglas. No one contenders tag team tournament as the show ends. And on this day in 2016, on Friday Night SmackDown, Thursday Night SmackDown, Roman Reigns defeated Rusev with Alberto Del Rio and King Barrett by DQ. Kalisto defeated Kevin Owens, and Ryback defeated Eric Rowan with Braun Strowman. AJ Styles defeated Miz by submission. New Day, Big E, Kelvin Kingston, and Xavier Woods defeated Social Outcast, Adam Rose, Curtis Axel, and Hugh Slater. Charlotte Flair with Ric Flair defeated Alicia Fox with Brie Bell by submission. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns defeated the League of Nations, Roberto Del Rio and Rusev and King Barrett. And that's it. That'll do it for my show. Everything, got everything covered. And hold on a second. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay, that'll do it for my show tonight. The Godfather Soldier, Storm Fleming. It's late Chad Henshaw always say, like, dress up chair checker, dance like lamb, dance like James Brown, like again that hot tub, gonna be sweat, gonna be dry, gonna be wet. Referring to A. Murphy doing the impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live back in the 80s. I never grew up in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. But I saw reruns of old school Saturday Night when I was little. So I hope I have a good night. And I'm gonna close out the show with all of you now and go show this song was the #1 hit single from 1975 called Magic by Pilot. It's heard in the end credits of Happy Gilmore starring Adam Sandler. So I hope I have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace. Can't wait for Super Bowl Sunday. This Sunday, I'm going with the Seahawks to win and beat the Patriots. But so I hope I have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace. And here's something to close out the show with tonight. Magic by Pilot from 1975. #1 hit. It was heard in the end credits of the 1996 movie Happy Gilmore starring Adam Sandler, one of my favorite movies when I was little. Good night, everybody.